Well, good morning, everybody. Just got dropped off at the bottom of the hill and decided I'd climb to the top of the hill before I ever tried to do any video. And it's probably a smart move. This is about 900 feet climb up the hill. Just reached the peak and now it's leveling off. Had a nice stay at the Microtel in Hamburg. I kind of wished I could, had the ability to drive around and see more of the town, not only of Hamburg, but also Port Clinton. And just you're relegated to the area that your hotel's in or wherever the trail goes through, and you can't really see the rest of the town. So that's just part of it, but it's all enough to know I'd like to come back. There's a big Cabela's there, and I'm all into the outdoor stuff, and I've been in that Cabela's before. I would like to have gone there if time had permitted, but it did not. So we're back on trail today. So the plan today is about 15 miles is my plan A. Trying to slow down a little bit, conserve some energy. There's a total of I think it's about 27 miles to the next hostel I'd like to get to, and so it'd be 15 today and about 12 tomorrow if everything works as planned. We'll see how I feel, because there's another campsite about 3 miles further, and so if I feel good I may go ahead and do 18 today, leaving me 9 for tomorrow, getting into the hostel. So either way, it's going to be a relatively shorter day tomorrow, and I look forward to that. So as a forward plan, I've got one day in my near future where I've got 20 miles over a big, really brutal rocky ridge, and sure enough, it's like 100% chance of rain that day. So there's a chance that I may stay at a hostel for 2 nights instead of 1, just to wait out that rain. So plans are made and plans are changed. So I was kind of looking forward to getting out of, no offense to anybody from Pennsylvania, but I was looking forward to getting out of Pennsylvania. But I may have an extra day, but we'll see. I'm gonna check the weather again tonight and see if anything changes, because it can change. And we'll see, but we're gonna focus on today. Today is hiking 15 miles to campsite, and we're gonna make it the best it can be. The weather's great today, so we're gonna appreciate that and be thankful for that, and make it a great day. So hope you guys are also making it a great day, and we'll look forward to catching up down the path. All right, we have a little bit of a view through the trees of what I believe is Hamburg, PA. You see some businesses and buildings, I believe. Right in this area is the hotel in which I stayed, and I'm sure you can't see it from this distance, but there's a pretty significant highway that's running through the center, which is Highway 16 or 61. Either way, so yeah, there's a Walmart. You can see some big roofs, the buildings down there. There's a Walmart, like I said, and there's a Cabela's over there, and it's a nice area with lots of restaurants and stuff. So again, I wish I had another day to fully explore, but wasn't in the cards this time for sure. Let's keep making progress. I'm probably not more than about a mile, maybe 2 miles in for today. So we're going to keep on pressing. Man, it feels nice out here. It's cool and a little breezy, which is really nice. And the trail has been really good. Of course, you see some rocks, but it's almost like having no rocks. It's all relative, I guess. We'll see more as the day permits. So where the trail is pretty nice, you got to kind of, like they say, farmers says, got to make hay when the sun is shining. So you take advantage of the good trail, because it won't take long and your trail will turn into this. Yeah, oh boy. All right, I'm gonna get to it. Well, the woods kind of opened up into a nice little small little open field area. Real pretty. Yeah, I think we're gonna go over here and there you go. I'm gonna hit a different trail that runs along this one and head uphill. Sign says commemorating Appalachian Trail's 75 years, 37 through 2012, Georgia to Maine. Yeah, so I think it's more like 88 years now. So that's the problem with putting up these signs, is they're never updated. So we're gonna head on this way. Trail's been really good today. You know, you saw some rock fields that had to bounce through and things like that, but overall it's better today than it was yesterday, that's for sure. Pretty water. Got a little view through the trees here at this really cool little campsite. Probably room for a couple of tents, maybe 3. Right here off the side of the trail. Sometimes these campsites are not even on the app, you know, they're just there. So kind of surprised by them. I'm not gonna stop here, although if I knew about it and the day was just right in terms of my timing, then probably would consider it. Challenge, of course, is there's no water right here, and so unless you hauled water in with you to this point, knowing that there's a site, then probably wouldn't be a great place to stop. I, on the other hand, have about 2.8 miles to the campsite in which I was targeting. It does have a couple of good tent sites, and it has a stream right beside it. So it's a pretty ideal spot for tenting. The backup spot is yet another 2 miles, and it's up a hill, and it puts me that much closer to where I'm going tomorrow, but there's no water. So similar to what I was talking about at this campsite, if I want to go there, then I need to be lugging, you know, my night's worth of water up to that other campsite that's uphill. So, you know, that may not be the most comfortable thing to do, carrying a lot of water that far for a couple of miles, but it might be worth it if it puts me a little closer to the target for tomorrow. So I've got time. These are things I'm just going to have to do a self-assessment on as soon as I get to the first campsite and see how I feel, and if I want to go on or do I want to just settle in. We'll see. All right. Again, I hope everybody's having a cool day, and we'll check back with you. The prettiest view of the day right there. Water coming through those rocks off that mountain. Just as clear as it can be. Very pretty. See what we see on the other side. Very nice. Okay. Keep on pace. Probably another 2 miles to the tent site. I had one of our viewers comment and confirm that there are honeysuckle trees, and I had not known that. Always grown up around the areas that had honeysuckle vines. So there you go. Learned something on this channel. I appreciate people's comments and helping me out as well, because there's things that I'm curious about that maybe I've never seen before. That looks like, I don't know, I would guess some type of blackberry briar. Notice that some people call blackberry briar what I would call blackberry briar. They'll sometimes call it a bush, blackberry bush, but it's not a bush to mine. Where I come from, it's more of a briar, but whatever. Everybody has different words for different things, and I'm finding that there are different things in different places, so it's pretty cool to learn about it, even if it's different. All right, probably another mile, we'll be at the campsite. All right, folks. Come to a road crossing and actually have some trail magic going on, so you know I'm gonna get something here, so it's so nice that they offer such a thing, so it's terrific. All right, catch up with you later. So, had nice trail magic there. Pretty simple stuff, you know. Had a Dr. Pepper and a pack of crackers, and I am rejuvenated. So it's kind of helping me make my next decision on whether I need to stop at this campsite or potentially push forward to the next campsite carrying, you know, a lot of extra water. So that was very nice. And of course it becomes a bit of a magnet for a lot of the hikers as they come off. So I was able to see some hikers I had hiked with earlier. Some of these section hikers, well, not section hikers, but flip-flop hikers that started in Harper's Ferry. They don't really have all their trail legs yet, so they're still doing lower miles. I'd say 12 miles or less in some instances. And and because of that, I took 3 days off. Of course, went to Lancaster, and I'm already, after 2 days, catching up with them. So yeah, it was good to see some of the folks, and some of the folks are going to be at the next hostel that I'll be at as well. So there's a little bit of strategy there between us when it comes to getting to a hostel, or even to a shelter for that matter. You know, where in instances where you know that there's going to be a number of people show up, well, you want to set yourself up so that you get yourself there early. And in the case of tomorrow, if I only have 9 miles left, I'll be there by noon, and I'll beat most of the other folks that are coming. Now, why is that important? Because you're going to have bunk beds, and if you can't reserve the bottom bunk a bottom bunk against a wall somewhere near a phone charger. Little things makes a difference, so you need to be the first one there so you can choose what bunk you would prefer. So that's my plan for tomorrow. But for today, we're going to finally get to this campsite and decide if we're going to move on or not. I'm kind of feeling like moving on at this point. All right, we'll see. Here's a pretty water source. In fact, I think this is the water source that supports this camping site that I have targeted. I'm not sure. I don't think that's the campsite over there. It looks a little raggedy. Plenty of water though, that's not a concern. Let's see what else the campsite has to offer. Well, maybe this is the stream. There's so much water out here on the trail right now. It's like there's streams that have been created that are not always streams, if that makes any sense. Hopscotch. Yeah. Here's a good one. Okay, I think this is the campsite that I've been targeting. Plenty of water, no problem with the water. And I'm sure there's a couple level places to put a tent. It's tempting, I have to say, it's tempting. Pretty water right there in the background. Wow. I think I'll sit down for a bit, maybe have some more to eat, and smoke it over a little bit. All right, folks, I kind of made the call. As much as I like that campsite, I still have a lot of daylight left. There's a couple of people I'm hiking with decided they're just going to go ahead and hike all the way to that hostel. And I'm like, it's 12 more miles. I'm not good for that. I could do something like that, but honestly, I have learned that those big mile pushes can create more troubles than opportunities, honestly. So I'm gonna go ahead and hike these last couple of miles to this next campsite. And there's a bit of an uphill climb here, but that'll be an uphill climb I get done today, and I don't have to face it first thing in the morning. So to me, that's the advantage of one of the advantages of going to this next campsite. The other thing I weighed out is there's no, don't even have cell service back at that last site. May not have cell service at this one either, but it's worth a chance. I know it's higher, so possibly I'll have a couple of bars so I can call home and stuff like that. So I've loaded up the water and we're headed up the hill. So we'll see how this campsite treats us. All right, we'll check it out when we get there. Oop. Pretty nice campsite right there. Another example where in my GPS, the Far Out app, it's not even noted, but that would be an okay campsite as well. It's kind of at the very top of this ridge, which sometimes is not great on a very windy day like we're having, because you obviously can experience a lot of wind throughout the night and maybe not sleep so well up there on that ridge. I just passed a lady who explained to me that she just saw a gigantic rattlesnake, but it's out on the lookout, which is about a mile away, and I'm not planning on going. It's called Dan's Pulpit, so we'll see that tomorrow, hopefully without the rattlesnake, but I'll be on alert for sure. I've heard reports today of folks seeing a number of rattlesnakes, and they're typically, it sounds like they're typically out on these larger rocks and just sunning, because it's not really warm, that's so warm today, so I'm sure that they're trying to seek all the heat that they can and pull it from those rocks if they can. So we'll go through there in the morning, but it'll be daylight, and I'll be paying close attention to where I'm setting my feet. And if I don't see a rattlesnake in Pennsylvania or anywhere else, I'll be fine with that. So anyway, that's about a mile away. The campsite that I'm headed to is about 3/10 of a mile away. And I am so happy that I chose to come up here this evening. I didn't realize how far down we had descended on that gradual road. It's really kind of a road bed. I don't know if you guys noticed, but just continued to descend down slowly. And we had probably close to 1,000 feet climb to get up to here. And I'm thrilled that I got that done tonight versus first thing in the morning. So yeah, that would have started out of course I'd had fresher legs first thing in the morning, but it just feels better if you can get up and go pretty quick from the get-go. So, and I think that's what we'll experience in the morning, but now I'm thinking about rattlesnakes. Ugh. So all right, so let's get up here and see this campsite and settle in. All right, everybody, I think we've reached our targeted campsite area. This is it. Not too shabby, I don't think. It's okay. I think there could be a spot there. It's not terribly level. I think the best spot in terms of being level is going to be right about there. I also noticed that somebody's made a site across the trail right over there. Not a bad spot either. I think I'm going to go ahead and set up right over here and go ahead and throw out my tent. And of course the Appalachian Trail is right there, as you can see. And should be quick access as I hit the trail in the morning. So yeah, they say this tent can be put up in less than 2 minutes, just like a snap. So let's see. Sure enough, it's gone up in a snap. Miracles of video editing. This is my home for the evening. That's a very taut tent. Say that 5 times. Very taut tent. Taut tent. Probably too taut, but it'll be okay. So we've got exit and entry here on this side. Of course, we have a tree on that side. And to take advantage of the flattest spot on the ground, it needed to be up against the tent. So that's okay. As long as we get in and out on one side, we're good. I don't really want to get in and out on this side anyway, in the middle of the night, because there might be critters out there. So, yep, so here's our camping site. We're going to make the best of this. We'll make some food, relax, and settle in. So we had a total of about 17, roughly. It's 1200. We left at mile 1220, and we're setting at 1237, give or take some tenths. So we're around 17 miles today, and then tomorrow we have about 9 miles going into this Lookout Hostel. So look forward to getting in there. A pretty nice hour, and I'll start pretty early, but not too early. I don't want to go before daylight. I want to be able to see on the trail, and we might even catch the sunrise out there at Dan's Pulpit. That's where the rattlesnake was last seen. So anyway, we'll see that first thing in the morning. Hope everybody's had a good day, and we'll look forward to catching up with you in the morning. All right, folks, as much as I like the placement of this, I'm thinking I'm going to move it. And it's just a safety factor more than anything. I like the spot, but I failed to look up. You can see here, right above my tent, leaning is an old tree that's definitely dead, and it might sit there for another 10 years. But even if a limb were to break off, it could hit right on top of my tent. And then as I look more closely, I saw this massive black snake coming down the side of it, and it's not making me feel too welcome at all. Look at that size. It just keeps coming, keeps coming. So there he goes out the back of the tree. You keep on going that direction, please. So there he is. He's going away from me. That's a good thing. I know, again, I've had some encounters with some black snakes so far. You guys saw it. I don't like any snake, I'm going to be honest with you, and I know that thing is no threat to me, but I kind of see it as a sign that I don't need to be camping right here. So I'm probably going to go ahead and move across the trail to that flat spot over there. There's still a dead tree right here, but I don't think it's leaning in the direction of that campsite over on the far side of the trail. So it'll create some more work, but maybe provide a little bit of peace of mind. So that's the plan.